It's me, bitch. Jesus Christ, Netflix, that's funny. I don't know why this isn't. Hello. Hello, hello. Hello, 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 hello. Hello, hello. Hello, hello, hello. Hello, hello, hello. Hello, hello. Hello, hello. Hello, hello. Hello, 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 hello. Hey, yo. Hey. Hey, don't go yet. Hold on. For some reason, my mic's not working. Yo, 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 yo. Hey, yo, somebody go to the stream. You can't. Hold on, hold on. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Hold on, hold on. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me, Pete? Pete, can you hear me, Pete? Pete. Guys, I'm not getting feedback on my mic. I need you to tell me if you can hear me. I've been talking in the. Alright, fuck it. I'll see you guys on the other side then. Alright, well, guys, I'm high as shit, so I was getting no feedback on the mic. So you can roast me. There we go. Maybe I just need to be in the game because I'm a fucking retard. Alright, well, somebody readied up early. Hope you guys get your setups in. We are at the Allah Akbar, sir. They've struck the second tower. Grand Prix here at Abu Dhabi. Sprint format this weekend. One-shot quali with a 10-lap sprint, and then another one-shot quali with 29-lap race. Racing yesterday, there were some terrorist maneuvers, of course, where we are racing. Last week at Singapore, we saw some Eastern World driving, and we are away. As Element coming at a turn. True Copper to the top. True Copper, Spinsy, and Pete. Chetty finally looking like himself after Singapore last week. Pretty disappointing. Let me turn this shit down. Alright. DRL Bob. Who the hell recruited him at a XL? Everybody's going to be moving everywhere. Let's stick with Pete for his run. Had okay pace yesterday, I think. Could be one of our early race favorites. As Finn is P4. Not going to talk too much about him today because really, there's just no point. BT in P15. Probably no surprise there. To be honest with you, after yesterday, no words. No words for that guy. Is Pete invalidates. And Bob is gonna take the pole for the sprint. About 2.5 tenths on Finn in P2. I think they might have fucked up putting Bob in Div 2. Because on full setup, he's just about my pace. Sprint qualifying, Bob, P1. Finn Evans, P2. Chetty, P3. Oh, no. P4, Red Brazil. Spinsy, P5. Don't forget, he's really a D1 driver. Tom and True Copper doing Alpine proud, P6, P7. Tony, P8. Sam, P9. Element, P10. Sparky, 11th. Brain Core, 12. Pete, invalidating, as always, BT. And who's last? Dami Lee. One of our new drivers to Div 2. Don't really know. Maybe invalidated first. Who knows? But for the sprint, really doesn't matter. As long as you get to P8, I guess. For anybody that's not aware, new game. We do have race quali, so sprint results will not determine the race order. As let's see who readies up early. Gonna have to be probably Tony or somebody. I don't know. I'm waiting for the terrorism that's gonna happen today. Just this area of the world, I just don't like. Not too many people do. So fuck this place. Let's wait 2 minutes for people just to sit around and not do shit. So Element is on a preset. BT, I didn't even get to change my setup. Well, BT, buddy, I promise you it does not matter. You will be able to change setup for race quali. If anybody that's bitching about presets, you probably weren't going to finish P8 anyway. BT, just shut the fuck up. All right. I'm going to finish my blunt here. This is Bethel. What type of American is this, man? I'll tell you what fucking type of American I am. I'm the best fucking kind, baby. Sparky, I'm expecting big things out of you, man. I know sometimes you like to practice a lot and then you get taken out pretty early. So let's just finish the race, man. You're right, Skills. I am going to take Sparky to win something today. So we decided to keep formation lap on. That's fun. That'll be interesting to. And okay, Tony's already out. He hit somebody. Or the wall, or, I don't know. Bob. Okay, Bob. Bob's done. So, hopefully we'll have a better race this week compared to last week. Wet Singapore is just not fun. 15 drivers today. I think we had 12 or 13 last week. So it's going to be tough trying to keep up with the amount of moves that some of these people are going to be trying to do here. Pete, P13, you know he's good to probably get some points out of the sprint. It'll be fun to watch him make his way through the front. Bethel, jump in the race, fuck off. If you want to join the lobby, you can. Just, I don't know. Who knows? Everybody's just trying to get around here. Who's that? Bray? Bray took off early. Bray's just, what? I mean, he's practicing for his 12 seconds worth of penalties. Well. So remember, Bray, he's either on 10% battery the whole race, or he's on 100. So just remember that. From the looks of the formation lap, he's probably not taking this race seriously either. Finn practicing his driving through cars. They won't ghost in the race, man, just so you know. Is the last Haas, Dami Lee decides to probably DSQ. Maybe not. Lights are on. 3, 4, 5. And away we go. Watch out, Pentagon. DRL Bob's going to take him into T1. We got to watch this terroristic act. Finn trying to clear him here. I don't like how this is going to end. Finn's already squirrely. Oh my gosh, this Chetty's got banged wheels with Finn. Everybody starting on mediums. Bray up 3 spots. Sparky. I don't even, where are you, man? Oh, jeez. What are you guys doing at the back here? Let's watch Sparky. Oh, we got to watch BT coming here. Yep, here he comes. Here he comes. Watch out, Pete. Wow, nice and civil from BT here. Red Brazil, no surprise here, dropping 3 spots. He does not have any straight line speed. Copper and Tom. Tom looking to rebound here. Last week at Singapore, safety car or VSC came out. He did speed and then ended up wrecking out of the race. I think he had a right front tire failure, maybe some brake failure. Couldn't stop in the hairpin at Singapore and drove right into the wall, DNF'd. Tough race from him last week. So we got battles all over this grid here. DRL Bob fast slop, obviously first across the line. What do we got cooking back here? Whoa! As Element is around. New guy already looking like a true DRL driver here. My boy, True Copper, just trying to get some points. Don't wreck your teammate, man. He is the top driver at Alpine, is Tom. True Copper just licks Tom's boots and makes sure he has everything he needs. As Finn looking on the inside. God, I hate that camera. Makes it stick, clears Bob. Does Finn? We all know what's going to happen. If you think Finn is going to hold 8.5 laps on this to this lead, I don't know what to tell you. Bob's already trying to look. And I know Mr. La himself. Element 10 seconds. Oh, that guy's a piece of shit. That guy might be worse than BT. I think Chetty's just waiting to see Bob and Finn just kind of maybe kill themselves. Anybody's running a 2-stop in this sprint. Pete's already up 5 spots. Pretty quietly. BT up 5 spots behind him. Man, BT. Oof, jeez. I don't know how I like that. If he's gonna have pace after a practice race yesterday, and if he's anywhere around 6th, 7th, or 8th, he's gonna be taking a lot of big names out. Spinzy's still kind of caught in P6. He's down 1 spot from the start. I think he's just waiting for the race. He's probably using the sprint as a little practice, get a couple points, and go to town in the race. Let's watch the field here. Nobody trying to make moves. Finn holding on, but he's going to get cooked down this DRS straight. Bob has enough battery to get him. Easily around. And Finn's probably going to get him next lap. If Finn can start saving some battery here through these last couple turns, maybe hit him with 60% battery, you'll be able to take it back. If I'm Finn, do you just try to keep Chetty behind you? Maybe all the way up and then try to hit Bob on the last lap. If I was Finn, probably not. You know, knowing him, he likes to get things over with. Tommy Lee's all. Another 3 seconds for Tommy Lee. I think that's his first. I ain't even bother checking. Everybody's kind of gapped by a couple tenths here. This battle around the back. Whoa, okay, Tony. Nice move. Nice move by Tony there to take P12 from Sam. Decided, you know what, I'm faster. I am Tony. He took P12. Red Brazil down 3 spots from the start, still in P7. Spinzy still P6. The top 7, top 8 have not moved, and as I say that, Spinzy's going to go around True Copper. Going to hold on to that spot for now. This DRS train from up until well, basically the whole field except for P12. Well, P8. I think everybody's just trying to wait. Oh, God. What the hell was that? Finn is... You know, I would go on board with Finn for just the whole race. I know a wreck is coming. He was trying to kiss my ass and suck my nuts in the chat earlier today. Talking about how he was excited to hear from me tonight. Which nobody's excited to hear from me. So I am not letting up on this yee-ass haircut boy who can't drive. Look, I bet you he gets squirrely here. Yep, there he goes. I mean, every time I predict him and Chetty are going here. Every time then more banging wheels. Finn's all out of sorts. Watch out, Chetty. Burn those jet thrusters, my friend. Chetty clears them. But back to Finn. I mean, Finn... Every time I predict... Tom is saying, guess what, man? I'm the third plane, bitch. Clears Chetty out of the chicane. And he is going to track Bob down. I know he is. Bob's on 16% battery coming down the straight. He is slow as a fucking turtle. 180 miles per hour. Tom's going to get him here. And if Chetty's smart, Spinzy up to P4. This is going to be fun. Finn's trying to hold on to every position he can. He's already dropped down to P5. In about 3 turns, he's done a couple semi-terroristic moves and has already dropped 4 positions. Copper just trying to finish the race, get a couple points. Bob's starting to pull away a little bit. BT up to P8. All right, we got some... What do we got going on back here? Tony, don't do it, Tony. There you go. Element's just cruising by himself. Element might as well just retire. There's no point. But the battery difference between Tom in P2 has 70% and Bob has 20. Halfway through the sprint, 5 laps, well, 4.5 laps to go. Oh, I don't know what BT did, but 10 seconds. That's going to destroy any chance of points or point that he planned on getting in this sprint race. I don't know what corner he cut. I guess the chicane. We got another caution. Looks like Tony again. Well, I hope he can do better in the race. Bray just dropped to Dami Lee. But the battle is here. If you're Tom, I mean, Pete 3 seconds. So, but if you're Tom, knowing, you know, you've raced with Chetty before, do you maybe throw a little trust in Chetty to be patient with you? Put a little pressure on Bob, make him defend, burn his battery. But if you guys are smart, you get him down this straight with 1 lap to go, then you two can fight it out on the last 2 sectors. Spinsy might get a little impatient. He might send it here, but BT DNF'd in the pits. At least he DNF'd in the pits. But Bob is still defending. He was up to 55% battery, but he burned it all in that straight just about. Got down to like 25. Yeah, Tom, even if Chetty's trying to defend Spinsy here, I think if Spinsy gets around Chetty pretty quickly, which he's not going to, Tom might have to fight a little bit. But we'll be coming to 3 laps to go. But if you're, if you're Tom, you gotta trust Chetty's not gonna send it. Just set Bob up. I mean, with how the battery's looking and how Bob's been using it, he might be a sitting duck here on the last lap. He might be going from P1. Tony's spinning again. He might be going from P1 to maybe P4, P5, if these guys behind him can save their battery decently enough compared to Bob. Because Bob's charging, so now he's charging. He's going to get as much as he can because he knows Tom's not going to come get him here. Tom's running hot lap. Everybody's pretty gapped. Spinsy's trying to get by Chetty here. Chetty's going to make a move. Good exit by Chetty there on the inside of Tom. Now this totally changes everything. But Chetty doesn't have enough battery. And we know Tom does. That's what happens when you save your battery when you don't need to use it, Finn. If you're Tom here, you got to try to stay P2 for the next lap and a half. Who's in the Ferrari? Is that Element? Yeah, that's twice in that same turn, Element. And then Tony's out too. What are you guys doing here? There, Tony, you did not win the race. Don't do donuts. Do not join on track right here. I mean, you're going to be ghosted anyway, but man. This is interesting. Bob is just about dropped Tom. So depending on the tire wear, well, I know Tom's going to burn a little bit here probably to catch up, but if Bob can break Tom coming to that long straight, Tom might be jettisoned back to P5. Whoa, Tom. Might have hurt him here. Spinsy is going to send it. That mistake from Tom opened the door for Spinsy, but I think Spinsy's just being smart. Very low battery for Spinsy and Chetty and Finn. So Bob is defending here, so Tom should be just about tied with Bob on battery. How much battery can Tom save coming up to that straight, that DRS straight that we just finished for the next lap? How much can he save? Because you probably don't want to pass him going into the chicane, but you see how far Bob just pulled. Are you going to have enough time on this straight next lap to hit him? I think depending on how much Bob has to burn on that first DRS straight is going to determine if Tom wants to take him before the chicane. Spinsy finally getting smart, deciding to save some battery here. Finn takes Chetty. Which Chetty was looking for P2 a couple laps ago, and he's already back down to P5. Whoa, Tom. But here it is. Spinsy. Is he going to try to take him in T1? But this is only helping Bob. If he breaks DRS here, it might be over for them. Activation point right now. Tom's not going to have it. Spinsy is going to overtake Tom here. How much battery is Spinsy going to burn? Is he going to try to catch all the way up to Bob? To try to get DRS? It's going to be close. It's going to depend on the entry. Activation point coming out of this turn right here. He should have it. He should have it. He doesn't. That's it. I could have sworn it was under a second. But Tom's going to take it right back. Hey. That was so close. Because I think right before he crossed that line, it was at maybe 0.968. But Bob was able to break DRS and just, he's dog walking him right now. Is Tom going to be able to hold on to P2? Starting P6, going to P2 in a sprint. Oh, after last week, as Bob will be your sprint winner. 8 points for Bob in his DRL debut. Tom P2, Spinsy P3. Bitch boy Finn Evans P4. Chetty dropped. Oh no, maybe his tires. These tires going about 8 to 9 laps. Tony, 3 more seconds. Why not? True Copper P6. Pete P7. Up 6 spots. Red Brazil wrapping out the top 8. Brain Core P9. Dami Lee P10. Sam Core 11 coming to the line. Maybe. The man. I mean, he ain't no Jonathan, but P12 for Sparky. Element. Does he have a third spin coming out of the last turn? You know he's going to spin it in the race. Oh. Yeah, you can tell the rear's already going. Is he on softs? He must have pit. Yep, 3 more seconds. Lose it. He's going to lose it. Nope. Good shit from Element. All right. Now we get a whole fucking race. This game gave driver of the day to Pete. Only because he gained the most positions off the start. Your points scorers for the sprint. Bob P1. Tom P2. Great race from him. Spinsy, Finn Evans, Chetty, True Copper, Mr. Petey himself, and Wonder Boy Red Brazil P8. So remember, you can change your setup in the race quali. So they aren't locked in. Basically just starting over from scratch now. But don't ready up. Don't ready up early. Sparky, I'm amazed that you finished, dude. I mean, hell yeah, man. Let me get one more blunt going here. Ugh. Well, if the race is anything like that sprint, we're looking at another snooze fest. Always personally hate the sprint. The fact that, and I can only imagine what it's like in Division 2 in this league, but having to do 2 race starts when just animals are around you, it's just not fun. It's just not fun. And I can only imagine what some of these guys like Pete, Tom, I'll even throw maybe True Copper in there, Sparky. You know, I mean, these people will destroy their races just because, you know, maybe Tom has to start P7 because he slipped and he's got to start next to BT. Well, you might as well just start fucking last to avoid it. Watching BT yesterday, let's talk for a second here. If yesterday was any indication of how BT is going to race today, you guys are in for a treat. I got taken out lap 1, so I had to pit, and then, you know, finally catch up to him after maybe 2 laps. You know how BT is. And this man just completely wipes out a beloved member of the D1 grid, Mr. Critical Skills. And having a front row seat to that and just watching it happen, it really is like I was working on the 103rd floor that day. You know it's coming, and all you can do is leave a voicemail for your loved ones. 13 seconds as we start this glorious one-shot quali. As I finish wrapping up a blunt here. Got to make it as interesting as possible. And we're off. So we're going to ride with Bob. If we can get to him before, well, you know, let's see who we're going to. You know, let's ride with Sparky. We're going to ride with Sparky. As I don't know what Tom's doing. And Tom, okay. Yep, you're better off starting last, man. Just drive through the field regular, don't break your wing. As if you're Psycho Lemmy. If you're Psycho Lemmy and you're behind Sparky right now, do you just quit life? But yeah, Bob. Sorry to tell you, Bob, but you will, this will probably be your last Div 2 race. I don't know what to tell you. Sprint pole, sprint win. Pete trying to take, and Spinsy, the man trying to take the pole. Don't forget, Finn got the pole last week. Finn has some pace. Everybody's still shuffling around here. Sparky P13. Tony P11, Element P10. As Pete is going to take the race pole by a little over a tenth. Is that Spinsy and Bob? I think P2, P3. Lemmy disqualifies at the end. Probably last corner. He was a late ad anyway. He deserves to start in the back. Pete is your pole winner, followed by Spinsy, Bob, Chetty P4. Dami Lee P5 is nerve-wracking. We might have to ride on board with him for the first couple laps. Red Brazil P6. He might have some decent pace. Finn, maybe a bit of a P7. Big gap from P7 to P8, about maybe 0.6 of a second. True Copper P8, BT P9, Element 10, Tony 11, Sam 12, Sparky 13, Bray 14, and I think 15th is going to be Tom, and 16th will be Lemmy. I don't know. Well, Bob, I see you're staying in Div 2. If you're anything like XL and you just cry a lot and got me kicked out of Div 2, moved up to Div 1, you know, maybe we'll have to force you to Div 1. Yeah, I know. I kind of fucked myself in that China race going sprint pole, sprint win, race pole, race. Yeah, I kind of fucked myself. But as now we get to wait for somebody to ready up. Well, I hope this race is more fun. Oh. I'm gonna... I say... thinking about who's gonna win this race. If it's not gonna be... like Bob, I would say it's gonna be you just because of where you finished, but... I'm not counting Pete out. I think Pete's gonna be my pick. Lights are out. Formation lap. Nobody decided to do the quick start just to drive around, a la Mr. Bray. BC just decides, yeah, I don't want to drive around. What is going on in the back? What is this? You guys realize if you don't DSQ, we're going to have to wait, right? What a... Tom is so fucking petty. Oh, that's hilarious. And now Bray's going to race Tom here. So maybe it's them saying, you know, we're... Well, and, okay. Bray decides that he wants to DSQ both of them. Oh, how did Tom not get... Oh, okay. No tire wear on formation lap. Oh, jeez. Was that Tony? Tony starting on the hards. The mediums die after about 9 to 10 laps. And, I mean, they die. The rears just fall off. So, starting on the hards might not be a bad choice from Tony if he can keep it on the track for, like, the first 4 laps and let him warm up. So far, not good. Everybody's just gapped here. This is... But yeah, no tire wear on the formation lap. I would be driving my ass off trying to heat up whatever tires I have, especially if I'm starting on the hards. Nah, I'm not going to count Pete out. Because he's starting from the pole, so he can just drive. He doesn't have to worry about passing BT or Spinsy, Copper, Finn Evans. As let's watch them all get filed up here. Psycho Lemmy, the last to pull. Never mind, I forgot about Tom. Forgot about Tom. Oh, okay. And Tony. 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 Oh. 3 lights, 4, 5. No drive-through from Pete this week. Away we go. Spinsy's gonna take him. Starting on the medium, Spinsy's gonna be quicker. Off the track goes Pete. Spinsy's gonna take... No. Pete on the inside line as Bob is now fighting Spinsy for P2. We're gonna take it 3 wide. Spinsy's going to clear him, but Pete's going to come back on an exit. Spinsy's got him. Spinsy's got him. The hard part about this is it's not really going to matter until somebody decides that they want to break DRS. Pete back on the outside, trying to get the inside line coming out of the exit. It looks like he's going to... Maybe? Spinsy's already on 20%. They're already done on their bad. Bob's got nothing. Lemmy's already up 4 spots. True Copper, we got some movement in the midfield. Sparky and Bray. Tom's already up 1. Tom, just be patient, man. Be careful with Element. Be careful with Lemmy. Be careful with Tony. Be careful with Sam. Don. You just got to be careful, man. Pete is trying to get away here. If Pete can stay with Spinsy throughout the stint, I think he's going to be able to get him after the mediums. As let's take one more look at where people are. Psycho Lemmy already up 5 spots from the start. Good start from him. Disappointing race last week. Looked like he was the early race favorite after probably 10 laps. Decided that he wanted True Copper to lead and spun his race car. But this battle up front, top 6 here. Is that Red Brazil? We gotta watch Red Brazil. He's gonna send it, and look who's behind him. Not close enough. This is right where he took Critical out yesterday. He's not gonna send it. We got the 2 McLarens fighting 3 wide going into the chicane. Tony 10 seconds for corner cutting. Yeah, he blew right through that shit. Oh my god. All sorts of weaving, dodge, ducking, dip, diving, and dodging. True Copper up 4 spots from the start. Tony another 10 seconds, gained 2 spots. So he cut the corner, got 10 seconds, and then did not give the 2 positions that he overtook back. Gained another 10 seconds. Are we looking at 20 seconds? Where the fuck is it? 20 seconds already for Tony. I would say it's a slightly disappointing start for Tony there. What is going on here? VSC, what happened? Bray speeding in the pit. Bray's going to DNF in the pits. I guess he was the one that brought out the VSC maybe, or was it Tony? It had to have been Tony. Right. So VSC, after 2 laps. Who do I support in F1? Well, considering I've only really gotten into F1 for like the last year, I don't know, man. I don't like McLaren. I hate Lando Norris. I just don't like him. I don't know. I've raced his AI in this game, and it's just he's fucked me every time. So I've just grown a hatred for them. I think if I had to pick a favorite driver right now, I'd probably just say Fernando Alonso. That dude's fucking cool as shit. And he's old too. So, but yeah, I've only been playing F1 games for fucking like a year. Back to green flag racing. Everybody's still bunched up here. Everybody's in DRS to P12. And then we got Element. Let's check in Tom. Tom up 4 spots. Lemmy up to P10, up 6. Element 3 seconds. I think P2 to P14 is probably where they're going to be finishing. Unless they just want to drive around, hope for safety cars and DNFs. Dami Lee's already down 4. I kind of was expecting this. Did not expect him to hold the pace of P5. But really, my eye is just about on the P6 and up. BT is there. If he can... He's on the hards. What do we have? Another spin. Who's at the Haas? Dami Lee. Yep, Dami Lee. This Red Brazil BT battle. This is gonna be this is gonna be fun. If you're Lemmy and Tom, what the hell? What is this? What kind of a camera is that? If you're Lemmy and Tom, you have to try to get around them as fast as fucking possible. Lemmy, you can't do that around BT, man. Like, I know you weren't really around him last week, but you can't race side by side with him. Red Brazil's trying to take advantage. Spinzy retakes the lead off Pete. But they have broken DRS to True Copper. So if these two can play nice and work, you could already be looking at a 2-car race. Copper's on the medium, so he should be able to probably get back into DRS to Pete. But with him having to defend Chetty and this terrorist behind him in the Haas, if they can keep Copper at a DRS, it might be up to Pete and Spinzy. And Pete's starting on the hard tires. I mean, I took these hard tires 28 laps yesterday. So, I mean, you can do it. It's not fun, but you can do it. I think it was like 80%. But, they're still opening the gap. Chetty finally took True Copper probably because of the DRS. Let's look at battery. They both have nothing. Bob still has nothing. They all have 15% or less. So they're probably just going to be quietly trading positions. Pete took DRS. Got by Spinsy. These two, like I said, just play nice. Go back and forth. Just kind of have a mutual understanding. We'll see if Chetty can catch up, but if this track's anything like Singapore last week, he's not going to have the pace. And those mediums are only about 5 to 6 laps from dying. This has become a little more chilled out, I must say, between BT. Yeah, Pete's already putting fast. Like I said, Pete's going to be my my driver to win the race. Red Brazil. I did call Spinsy last week. So I think Tom's just kind of scared. He's thinking to himself, you know, last week I got fucked by Finn, got taken out, brake failure going into the hairpin. You know, it was just a bad race. I'm getting a point right here. My teammate is pulling 12 points right now in P4. If I can just finish in the top 10, which I wouldn't count Tom out from sneaking onto the podium. He likes to do that sometimes. This is gonna. Here we go. Red Brazil on the mediums. It's probably, yeah. The more laps that go by that they don't tangle the hards, he should just be able to drive away. I think Tom's gonna get him on battery here. He's gonna hold around the outside. He's gonna swing over. Watch it. Oh God. Oh my. Hold it. Terrible driving from Red Brazil there. Terrible driving. That's why I looked to the left of the car. I knew Red Brazil was going to swing wide. Almost took him out. Gotta relight this. True Copper 3 seconds, I think is, yeah, that's what it looked like. We got a caution, looks like Element. Well, it wasn't the last turn. It was the third to final turn. So he's getting further into the middle part of the track. Yeah, Tom, I think you just have to drive behind these guys. 23 laps to go. Just let them fuck each other and just kind of do a little squirt by. And the pack's right there, so you're not losing time. Lemmy's ahead of Bob here, and Lemmy's looking to make a move on Finn, which he clears him. Everybody in a DRS train here, and Lemmy was able to take Finn. But Finn has no battery. Imagine that. But really, we're in a train. They're still opening the gap on Copper. 5 seconds now. Without a safety car, it's up to Spinsy or Pete. Spinsy's going to get a huge undercut on Pete. But I think, depending, I don't know. I mean, if you're Pete, you got to be happy that you're on hards and you're keeping pace with Spinsy, just trading positions. Because he's going to be on the mediums in the final stint. It's going to be, I'm going to call it now. It's going to come down to the second stint if Pete, on his mediums, is able to get by Spinsy from the undercut and cut him from DRS. If at any point Pete can drop Spinsy in the second stint from DRS on his mediums, I think Pete might be able to get it. Because the longer that they go with the hards, the exit for Spinsy, if he's able to save his battery, which he's on 94% now, if he's able to save his battery on his hards and just get the exit every time on Pete, Pete's not going to have enough battery to drain, to catch up, that's what it's going to come down to. But that's a far way away. But that's my call. Look at this gap. I mean, they're going to trade positions back and forth. I'm not really going to keep too much of an eye on them. This is New York City, September 11, 2001. We're waiting here. I think Tom finally got by Red Brazil. He kind of dropped him there. Not too worried about that. Now he just gets Gets the charge from P9 trying to catch BT. I think he's hoping BT and Element again spins in the chicane. I think Tom might be just hoping for BT and Copper to get a little feisty. And BT takes Finn out. There it is. BT, Mr. Terrorist himself. This guy is insane. Just totally wiped Finn out. Finn, I know I give you a bunch of shit. That is not your fault. That is terrible. You do have the pace, though. Just keep driving. Get your points. Don't do it. I know it. Okay, or pit. Put the hards on. Go to the end, dude. Oh, Finn Evans. Speeding in the pit lane. When it is not your time, Brazil 3 seconds. When it's not your time to pit and you don't go in your MFD to box a slap, you will not get the arrows going down pit lane. These two still trading positions. So without the arrows, you don't know your breaking point. You got to be careful. Arrow, Bob up to P5. The more that he gains on this train, he's just going to start picking him off. Bob, you're next in line, man. I don't know what to tell you. You might want to get around Chetty. Because if BT catches you on these hards, your race might already be over. Nice and methodical. Nice and methodical. True Copper. Yeah, they're fresh hards, man. Does he have damage? Did he get damage from that? He doesn't have an end plate. He's missing it. He's missing an end plate. So Copper just pit for hards. He's going to have to pit again and change his wing. His race is over. He's going to pit and retire, I bet. I bet, if anything. Finn decided to pit. He's on his hard. So all these hard runners, True Copper, Finn, and Sam, if they don't spin it and light their rears up, they'll easily make it to the end here. But Copper's going to have to pit. He doesn't have another set of hards. So he's going to have to probably ride this out. That's disappointing for him. He was P4 in the beginning of the race, riding around that train in P5, P6. I don't know if he got damaged. That's why he pit initially. I don't know if that, if he even got the damage in that chicane that we witnessed, but these two still deciding to switch positions. The gap is coming down, though. They are going to be fighting, and when Pete is behind Spinsy, Pete can only go as fast as Spinsy, and those mediums are right at that death point. So watch Lemmy's gap to the Spinsy Taplin train to maybe start coming down a little bit. BT's here. BT is there. I would say nothing else matters in my life except for this. Yep, Bob. You know what, Bob? Don't even take the chance. Pit early. BT 3 seconds. You don't want to be anywhere near this guy right now. Chetty. It's revenge season for the Americans. Let's go, BT. Yeah, that right-hander right there coming up the hill on the mediums. I lost it maybe almost 3 times. Just like the rear of the car just picks up off of the track. It's insane. BT was able to get DRS from Chetty. I think Chetty was more of a hey, you know what? I'll catch you. Don't worry. Just go by me. Just let me drive behind you. That was probably a smart move for Mr. Chet Dog. Bob came out in P8, so Bob. It's like Tom came in for the pits too. So I think the default strategy for this track is 13 laps on mediums. So these guys ran the medium tires in the sprint 10 laps. They agree. These mediums are done after 9 to 10 laps. Let's just come in, put the hards on. True Copper looking on the inside of Bob here. True Copper's going to have better straight line speed, but he's going to have the better straight line speed with that broken end plate. If you're Bob there, you got to think you're kind of lucky that his car didn't swing out to the right there. So True Copper is the leader among the early pitters onto the hards. Red Brazil in the pits and Chetty in the pits. Dami Lee P5 after his debacle in the beginning. True Copper. Fastest lap. Does he... His wing's broken. That is a broken end. It is. Okay. What are you guys doing? How did he get fast? Okay. I mean, DRS is a son of a bitch, but... This is possibly the fight for the lead here. Depending on the undercut, it's definitely for P3, as Bob is going to make a crazy move on the inside. When do we see Spinsy pit? Because if you're Spinsy at this point, you got to try to go for as big of an undercut as you... I mean, you're not even burning battery here. You're just driving behind Pete. You're about to get dropped from DRS. Right now, if you're Spinsy, you have to think about an undercut, because if Pete's going to go another 5 laps, maybe 6 laps, and he's going on mediums, you want Pete to try to have to track you down on mediums, and hopefully he just burns them out. But I think Spinsy might be coming in this lap. So all the hard runners are starting to put in good laps, which is, I know medium tires in the beginning of the race, you know, you're not going to be able to stretch your legs to get the lap, but Spinsy's our only medium runner, which he was one of our last wet tire runners last week after he decided why pit. But you can see the hards are really starting to overtake the mediums here, because Spinsy on exit, he's having to burn a lot and just try to keep up here. But you could tell in the exits of the corner, Pete's starting to pull away here. If you're Spinsy, you gotta pit. Is that Element again, reckon? Yep, it is. He's got to come in here. If he doesn't come in here, he's got very high confidence. Here he comes. Gonna put on the hards. I'm gonna have about 5 laps overtake of undercut on Pete. What's Lemmy's gap? So Lemmy has pretty much stalled out on his quest to go track down Pete, which I think Spinsy probably helped Pete out by just deciding to drive behind Pete and not really fight him. Which, pretty smart by Spinsy. You knew Pete was going to be faster on the hards. Just let him pull you along on DRS. Lemmy almost lost it there. Spinsy finally came out. Sparky, 3 seconds. Hey, Sparky, you're only 2 positions away, man. But Finn, at least you're back in the points. Oh, no. If you're Tom here, you got to watch out. You got Finn breathing down your neck, and we know what happened last week. Finn might think he's faster, but he's on 2-lap older tires. Tom's going to get him here, maybe. He's going to save for the next straight, which he's not going to need it. What the hell was that? Tom's trying to get a good exit here. That'll be interesting to watch, because Finn did screw Tom last week. I think Finn might have caused the brake failure on Tom's car. Little bit of I think he hit him, caused, maybe like a brake caliper to come loose and just almost killed Tom. Like, he almost died. So, not too good. Do you see this? I know he hasn't pit yet. He's probably going to go down to P11, P10, P11. He will be going on the mediums. But This is absolutely disgusting. Let's watch Spinzy's gap to BT. The difference between 13 laps on hards. Does Dami Lee decide that he just want to screw Spinzy? Debut race for Dami Lee in Div 2. I think in the league. He's had a couple moments, but once he pits, he'll probably come out of the points. The gap to BT from Spinzy is coming down quite considerably. By the time BT pits, Spinzy will probably just about have caught him. It's True Copper and Bob are still fighting here. Chetty and Tom, P8, P9, they're kind of by themselves. Tom is trying to defend from Finn. I think Finn is probably just playing it cool, saying, hey, you know what I did to you last week? I'm not trying. Let's just, you know, let's just drive, get there. Then we can fight. Red Brazil, P11. There's a little bit of a battle maybe starting to come. I mean, Elements on 11 fresher tires, 11 lap fresher tires, but if I know this guy after 25 laps of racing, Sparky a little bit wide there. Elements probably got about 4 more spins in him. We have Sam. Yeah, I don't know why. Everybody told me that he's new. I feel like I've seen, maybe he's raced, but I don't know. I wouldn't say I had higher expectations for Sam, but from what I've seen so far. Yesterday in the race, I think we had 3 drivers that finished the race without a penalty. Let's check the penalties here. Finn has 10 seconds for his speeding, as Pete is in the pits. Maybe a little early here. Let's see what Pete decides to put on. 13 laps on the mediums. They will be barking at the end. Mediums for Pete, as BT is in P2. So let's watch Spinzy. Let's watch. There he goes. Pete under the tunnel. What's the gap going to be? Here comes Pete. 6 seconds maybe? Oh, wow. That was crazy. So if you're Pete here, you just have to go track him down. You don't have to go too crazy. You have mediums. He's on 3 lap old hards. Element in another 3 seconds. You have plenty of time. And if you can save your tires, take advantage of the freshness, and just get to DRS, and then just drive behind him for the rest of the race. Bob's on 6 lap old hards. Him and Copper are just fighting back and forth. I don't see Bob's gap to Pete coming down anytime soon. With him having to defend Copper, Copper's just been a pest. Costing him both time without an end plate on the left side of his wing. Bob's already getting squirrely on the rear. I think the gap from Chetty to True Copper as they fight starting to come down. Tom and Finn still doing their thing. I think we got Sparky and Element in a incident. Sam trying to get a couple positions out of it maybe. Bob, Copper, everybody, I think right now the fight is these 2 guys. Everybody else is pretty much gapped. Lemmy and BT, I think they might have wanted to pit this last lap. Spinzy's already up to P2. If you're... Oh! Jesus Christ. He's going to get DRS too. If you're Spinzy here, you need to watch your fucking ass. Let's watch him here. Let's watch him here. Let's watch him here. Oh, smart from BT. That's quite disappointing from him. I'm not gonna lie. I wanted to see some craziness. But this is only helping Pete. No battery on Pete, though. Spinzy only on 15%, so at least they're pretty close. But Pete's coming. Let's watch the True Copper battle with Bob. I think True Copper's just probably trying to stay with Bob, let Bob kind of drag him through the field. Not having an end plate, I mean, having any type of wing damage it just fucking sucks. I mean, it's not fun, especially so early in the stint. I mean, he had just come out of the pits and BT another 3 seconds. Surprised he didn't speed, but BT is in the pits finally. So is Lemmy. Lemmy's already coming out. But this is the battle. Already opened up 6 seconds to Bob has Spinsy. I feel like that gap from between Pete and Bob was only 2.5 seconds, like a lap ago. So that's the power of 2-lap mediums compared to 8-lap hards with DRS. I mean, I think Lemmy's going to be too far. I think Lemmy might have want to come in a lap or two earlier. Maybe when Pete did. I think, I mean, you're looking at 7.5, almost 8.5 seconds to the lead by Lemmy. By the time he gets there, those mediums will be done. I think Lemmy stayed out a bit too long. BT, we all know he stayed out too long. But no matter where he finishes, I mean, if Finn doesn't ticket him, then I'll submit the stream because, I mean, he just terrorized Finn. Tom quietly still behind. Looks like Finn finally took him. Now that Tom is behind Finn, I had a dream that, True Copper, another 3 seconds. I had a dream that if Tom was driving behind Finn at any point, that Finn would just be in the fucking wall. I don't know why. It was crazy. I woke up this morning for work and thought to myself, why did I just... Well, I know why I dream about Tom, but I was like, why did I have a dream that Tom was just driving behind Finn and decided, fuck it. Yeah, I'll take a race ban. As Pete. Now, can Pete... Red Brazil, 3 seconds. Jeez, the penalties are really going to start racking up here. Everybody's trying to get what they can. Tom finally goes past Finn. But Pete, can Pete take advantage? Purple sector from Pete there. Can Pete take advantage of these medium tires and try to break DRS from Spinsy and just try to open up as big of a gap as he possibly can and then just try to hold on with battery? Coming to 9 laps to go. Lemmy was able to get around Bob. See if Bob can keep up, but I think Lemmy on those mediums. Fast lap from Lemmy, 25-27. Lemmy getting by Bob that quick. 7 seconds is going to be tough. Every lap that goes... I mean, I know Spinsy's on 7-lap on hard, so, I mean, he's starting to feel it a little bit. Everybody's racking up 3 seconds. My God. Red Brazil in the pits. You're probably going to put on... If I had to guess, softs. Should put on mediums, but if I had to guess, Red Brazil's going to retire. Okay. Spinsy doing a good job keeping up to Pete here. But you can... I mean, you saw that exit out of that corner. But yeah, for Lemmy... I just caution. Oh, Red Brazil's car's coming out of the pits. If it's anything like yesterday, it's just going to park right in the middle of the pit lane. If you are Element here in the pit lane, your car might not be able to get out. I think Red Brazil's car is coming out. So, and Element retires in the pits. So, if we have 2 more retires, Sparky will be in the points. Is that Sparky? So if you're Pete here, do you try to take the lead from Sparky? Sparky is leading Pete and Spinsy here. Good race from Sparky. Oh, shit. He's P12. But yeah, Lemmy, it's going to be too little too late. He's gaining about a second a lap, but by the time he gets there, I just don't think he's going to have enough. Chetty gets around Bob. Bob and Chetty are fighting now. Chetty doing a good job catching up to Bob. Overtaking him. Good. And this battle's still going on. The more laps that go by, that my dream does not come true. I mean, Martin Luther King Jr. said it the best. I had a dream that Tom would fuck Finn Evans. Yeah, you know what I said. Chetty and Bob still fighting here. Gap still coming down for Lemmy. Pete trying to do his best here. With how the battery, they're both on the same battery, 85, 70%. It's going to come down to who wants to play that DRS chicken right before the last lap. I think Spinzy's not going to try to overtake. I think Spinzy knows he's on older tires. He's just going to hold on behind Pete. Just keep the eye on the gap to Lemmy. Make sure he doesn't get too close. But if you're Spinzy, save the tires, wait for the last lap. Just burn the battery. He burned a lot there to keep up. Is Spinzy going to get... Pete's broken DRS. Had to have been a terrible chicane from Spinzy. Now Spinzy's coming into the clutch. Well, that's fucking Sam. Never mind. Spinzy has completely fallen off here. A second and a half to Pete. Now, if you're Pete, don't get too crazy. Like, you still don't want to light him up. But I think Spinzy starting on... I think it was definitely starting on the hards. That was the way to go. Remember what I said in lap 4? I said it was going to come down in the second stint. If Pete was able to break DRS from Spinzy and drive away, get a decent enough gap, and not get a penalty... What are we doing? Didn't seem to hurt him too bad. Actually gained a little bit of time out of it. Still holds battery over Spinzy. But like I said, lap 5, lap 6, if it was going to come down to Pete opening up DRS on him on the mediums. Oh, Tom, 3 seconds. But everybody in that area, I mean, Tom's still looking at P6 easily. Good recovery from Tom. Up 9 spots. Lemmy P3. Up 13 spots. He was the early race favorite last week. Got a podium in Div 1 yesterday. Lemmy's a fucking baller. And the gap is... Spinzy might need to be careful here. Gap staying pretty even to Pete. Pete's trying to drive away here. Still got decent amount of battery. What's Lemmy's battery? Everybody's got around the same battery. Around that 45. Bob and Chetty going back and forth. Everybody's kind of got their own race. That gap's coming down. Two lap fresher mediums than Pete. And our Pete's medium starting to go. We're at 8 laps. The mediums might be done. We have 5 laps to go. It's a 3-car race. It's a 3-car race for the win. You got to battle for 4th between 2 cars, and you got to battle for 6th between 3 cars, but it's really only 1 with penalties. We have a caution. Is that a McLaren? Is that Lemmy? No, it's the other McLaren. Oh, it's his fucking DNF. So Sparky, one more DNF, and Sparky is in. Oh, there's a Haas off. Is that Dami Lee? No, it's fucking Finn. BT in another 3 seconds. What happened to... Did you try to take Tom out? This Tom doesn't have damage. Oh my god, BT. Yeah, Tom, just let him go, Tom. Just let him go. He's on 8-lap fresher tires on a softer compound. Try to stay with DRS and just let him carry you. Oh no, I don't like this. I don't like this. I don't like this. Better driving from BT's. Car's gonna swing. Oh my. Great racing from Tom and BT, still trying. BT will not give this spot up. Granted, I think he has 6 more seconds of penalties. He does. Don't really know why he's trying to fight and just completely ruin his race. BT's looking at solid points here. What's Sparky's penalties looking like? Sparky's on 3. If Sparky... Okay, he's lapped. Never mind. But if... Gap from Lemmy to Spinzy. Spinzy's got him. The gap from Lemmy to Spinzy is kind of staying pretty close to the same, 2.5 seconds. But the more that these two guys battle back and forth, so 26, 27, Pete will lead, 28, Spinzy. So if they trade back and forth from now until the finish, Pete will end up getting it. But are those mediums cooked? The mediums might be done. You can go, you know, the strategy had the hards going 5 more laps. The strategy only had the mediums going 3 more laps. So there's definitely a big difference in these tires. Is Lemmy, the gap from Lemmy's coming down. Who's going to have the most battery? Pete right now holds that. 55%. Pete, Samurai's calling for a penalty for you. He's trying to jinx you. Race for 4th is still on between Bob and Chetty. Race for 6th is really still Tom's. But you never know what could happen with some fun racing. So if you're Pete, if you're Pete, you're just trying to stay away from Lemmy and just try to hold on here to Spinzy. DRS is gonna help here. If you're Pete and planning a last lap pass, you really just gotta try to hold on to as much battery. I wouldn't be burning any. I'd maybe start saving down the straight. Just use DRS to kind of pull you along. But if you're Pete, if you get a full battery coming to the last lap, which 80% Pete might be cooking here. Lemmy's still charging. See, I think that's what's been hurting Lemmy. He's been gaining a decent amount, but then I think he just charges too long because he just uses it too quick. But the gap is coming down. 1.5 seconds to Pete now. By the looks of it, Lemmy's going to get DRS on the last lap. So Spinzy might be going from P1 to P3. Five sectors to go. If you're Pete, you still broke DRS to Lemmy. I think if you're Lemmy, you need to get... Yeah, you see, he burned a lot. He knows. You had to get to DRS on this straight to catch up, go through the turns, and then do a reset and just try to overtake. I think if you're Pete, if you're Pete, you got to start saving right now. I know he's got more battery than Spinzy, but if you're him, as long as you're within, as long as you get DRS on that first straight, you're gonna catch him, and then you'll have him going down the second. Who's gonna have the most battery? P6 is still up in, well, P6 is still Tom's. Bob and Chetty are going back and forth. This fight isn't over either. As here we come. 1 lap to go. 1 lap to go. Spinzy's done a good job here trying to... He almost dropped Pete. Don't burn too much battery, Pete. Spinzy's Spinzy broke him. Spinzy has no battery and he broke DRS. What strategy? That was perfectly executed by Spinzy. He went all for broke. He burnt everything he had and broke DRS. As we have a Haas, looks like Finn again. Who knows? Dami Lee, who knows? That was it. He went for it all, and he barely snuck through. Burned everything he had, broke DRS. Didn't matter. Now Pete has nothing. That was the move of the race. Tommy Lee 3 seconds. Pete is under fire now. Pete's got to be careful. Samurai, you almost called it. Lemmy's going to send it. Oh! Holy shit. What a camera angle. What a camera angle. Bob's going to sneak on the podium. Lemmy, I got to be honest, man. I think that was your fault. You don't go for it there. Are you crazy? Spinzy is your winner at the Allah Akbar. Sir, they've struck the second tower. Grand Prix. Pete P2, Bob P3. That's your podium. Wow. Last lap heroics says Chetty. Going to take P4. That was a battle for P5. BT crosses the line in 5th. Tom's going to get him. P5 for Tom. BT's going to drop all the way down. Good race from Copper. The Alpine boys, P5, P6. What's that? 18 points? Not too bad. This guy getting 7th is a travesty. A little disappointing today. Got taken out from the guy ahead of him. Good recovery. 21 lap old hards. Good recovery from Finn. Dami Lee's debut comes to a decent end. P9. I mean, you got to be happy with points. And I know Lemmy probably technically classified. Fuck that. Fuck that, man. Give it to Sparky. Game gave Tom driver of the day. Might be an astute choice. Lemmy was looking pretty decent, the amount of positions that he gained, but the fact that he DNF'd on the last lap, whether it be his fault or not, I mean, you can't go for it right there. Like, I know Pete probably turned down on him, but what do you expect? Well, we'll let you guys decide that. I don't give a shit. Yeah, Sparky, you might have been a lap down, but you were a lap up in our hearts. And I think after 20 seconds of penalties after the first lap and finishing that shitty-ass race, you deserve it. Spinzy is your winner. Bob P2. Pete P... Oh, no, that ain't it. That's the fucking results. Spinzy P1. Pete P2. Bob P3. Chetty P4. Alpine boys take P5 and P6. That's Tom and Copper. BT with, well, P7. Finn P8. Dami Lee P9. Psycho Lemmy P10 classified. Whatever. Sparky P11. Sam P12. Element P13. Red Brazil 14. Braincore 15. And Tony the Man 16. Yeah, Samurai, where'd you finish in the race yesterday? You said you made moves there yesterday, and you might not have wrecked from there yesterday, but where'd you finish? Oh yeah, that's right. That's right. You didn't. I'm not doing interviews again today because I don't have fucking Discord set up. I gotta get that figured out. Driver of the day. I gotta be honest with you. I think I gotta give it to Tom. I'm going to give it to Tom. Started like, what, last? P15? P14? Drove all the way up. Finished P5. I mean, the car held up for him this week. No brake failure. Tom, Driver of the day. Game got it right. Pedo of the day. Pedo of the day. Look, we didn't want to give him the satisfaction yesterday, but I just can't let 2 races go with the appalling behavior from BT. BT is the biggest pedo I think any of us have ever raced with. The guy is just like I just don't understand it. He should never be allowed to race Div 1 again. Div 2, I love him in Div 2. It's entertaining, but yeah. Just utterly appalling. Pedo of the day, BT. Well, that's it for me. Cloaksy Siga. Again, this has been the Allah Akbar. Sir, they've struck the second tower. Grand Prix at Abu Dhabi. Maybe we'll see you next week. Maybe next week we'll have podium interviews if I do it. Maybe we'll get it working. Good night, boys. Hope you enjoyed it.